guys, it's Two Wheel here and another hot exclusive. Ooh, let me take off my blinker. Anyway, so today I'm going to be making a video about getting a first bike and the things you want to look for, and I'm going to specialize in getting it secondhand or a used vehicle on like somewhere like Craigslist or any other site, eBay, anything like that. And I'm going to walk you through the process of getting it and looking it over and making sure the bike's in working order and how you'd like it to be. So let's get it started. First off, so what I like to do is I bought this bike off Craigslist. I'll tell the seller to leave it cold, and the reason why is you always want to check the oil when it's cold. And on my bike, it's pretty, you could tell that it's been pretty savagely dropped. But on my bike, you'll check the oil, or usually on all bikes, you'll check it on the right side. And on mine specifically, you have this glass right here, and that'll tell you how much oil is in your bike right now. And so what you're going to do is have either the seller or like the owner or a friend. Highly suggest bringing a friend on these things, because first off, when you're in love with something, you seem like, I tend to at least, overlook a few things, and it's always great to have a different perspective when doing something like buying a vehicle. So either have a friend or the seller hold the bike upright, and then you look down into that glass light. And so there's going to be two lines. There's one right there, and that's going to be low, and then there's going to be a high, and you expect it to be around the middle-ish. And I just rode my bike, so you can't tell. And one way that you will be able to tell if the bike's cold is either take off your glove, or if you have one, put the back of your hand on like near the exhaust. And if it's warm, you'll obviously be able to tell that there's heat radiating from it. So secondly, what I like to do is always just take a walk around the bike, check out the blinkers, make sure they work, have a friend check out the rear brake and the front brake on the brake light. Just a normal functionality test. And one thing that I always do that I haven't seen in very many other videos tell you is I always like to push the bike up and down to really see if those fork seals are still in good condition and not needing a replacement. And then obviously you always want to check about your body, and this comes down to personal preference to a point, what you want as far as the condition or anything like that. And for me, I got the bike like this. I did not drop it, and I did not do this suture job like that. But at the end of the day, at the price I was getting it at, I really didn't mind too bad. So that's why I was okay with that. And so what you also want to do is get in between right here and check, let me see mine, and check your brake pads. And if you look in that small slot right there, the things that are covering the rotors are going to be your brake pads, and so you always want to check those out. See the condition they're in. Always check the tires, and I'm due for sure a new front tire. Check the rotors for any warpage or any sign that they've been abused, as far as somebody should have replaced the brakes and they ended up not. And another thing to be cognizant of is just check up on what the seller is saying, because let's say that they said the bike has never been dropped, and the fairings would agree with that. And so you're like, okay, well, the fairings look all right, so you figure It's never been dropped. But you always have a few other things to check. Always check the mirrors, because that's something seldom people won't replace. Mirrors, levers, and also these pegs here. If you've seen that they've been scratched up, then you obviously know that the bike has probably been dropped. And there's two kind of different drops. There's like a laying it down, and then there's like I'm going at speed and it's been dropped. And for I'm going at speed and it's been dropped, you can tell by the actual streaks going one direction that that's how that happened. In other cases, it would just be kind of like a mixed matched deal going on. But in those specific cases, you'll tell because it's actual lines. Another thing to always check up on is your chain, guys. Make sure it is the correct tightness all the way around too, because what some people will do, and it's a common mistake, or any mistake, is that when cleaning your chain or tightening it, you never want to tighten the spot on the chain that's loose. Always tighten the chain from the tightest spot, because if you do it the opposite way and tighten the loose spot, that just makes the whole chain as an assembly tighter, which means the tightest spot on that chain just got a whole lot tighter. So you always want to be cognizant of that. And if you can, try to get on the bike and get a test ride. A lot of people will say they're going to need money in hand to do the test ride, and I mean, if you were thinking about buying the bike and you were serious enough to test drive it, you're probably going to bring your money. So we're going to get on this bike and walk through the actual driving part. So when you sit on it, first, always think about comfort, because if you're going to be riding this thing for any amount of distance or time, you want to be comfortable on it. So see if the seat is right for you and to your liking, and then just go for a ride. So I always say that you need to really try to see how smooth the gears are, and by that I mean, if you can hear my bike, the only thing that you could tell, only reason you could tell that's changing is that you could probably see my hand on the clutch lever actuating it, and you'll be able to hear the bike change in noise because of the revs. So when you get like a clunky, if you get like a clunky gearbox, what's gonna happen is once you put it in gear, it's gonna like jolt you forward, or you'll feel it. It's a physical feeling that you'll have. So you always want to be cognizant of that. I mean, when it comes to riding it, wow, that's crazy. Did you see that guy's hood? Hold up, let's go back around. Holy cow. I mean, I wasn't gonna get distracted, but holy shit, that was, especially with the Confederate flag stuff going on. Oh, what up, my brother? Anyway, so you always want to be thinking about what you prefer as a motorcycle rider. All right, check this out, guys. Sorry about the squeaky brakes. Wow, homie has some pride, and look at that. Good. All right, bro, you do you, man. Holy shit. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. So at this point, it's going to be about preferences and making sure that the bike is right for you. I would definitely kind of put it through its paces in a little bit, as far as what you're going to do is I would kind of get it up in the rev as far as the RPMs go, see how it handles that, make sure there's no ticking at a certain point in the revs, and make sure that it steers right, like the brake lever feels good. And just all in all, just you gotta think, is this the bike that I could see myself riding for the purpose I need it for? And if it can do that, then I would say go further with the process into the negotiations. But if it doesn't match that, then just let it go. And I hope this was educational for you guys, and 2 wheel out.